Welcome everyone to 284 News. My name is Javon Wilson.
I'm Kamal Hayes.
And I'm Ron Grant.
And we are so thrilled and happy to be coming to you live out of the beautiful British Virgin Islands. The content continues via our website, 284media.com. In today's news, Premier Fahie supports Honorable Vanterpool's call to make Anthony McMaster the CEO of RDA.
Rotary Club of Tortola recognizes Andy Flax and Mr. Ephairm Penn as Paul Harris Fellows at the BVI Rotary Family Foundation dinner.
We also see another home handed over to a woman whose house was damaged during Hurricanes Irma and Maria, the recipient's nephew delivering a very touching tribute.
Mrs. Marva A Titley-Smith says now is the time in New Book.
We also see Premier Fahie praying a courtesy call to Hertfordshire County Council to mark their 10-year relationship. And viewers, a retired officer who breached the airport security in Barbados and traveled all the way to Miami is now being investigated, says Prime Minister Mia Mottley. We have all the details for these stories when 284 News returns.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangara, Jackson Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness.
Welcome everybody. It's Monday, December 6th, 2021. I'm Ron Grant and we're coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
And my name is Javon Wilson. Of course, so happy to be here to bring you another dose of 284 News, local, regional, as well as international content. Viewers, topping our headlines today, we see some news coming out regarding the administration building and the repairs that are going on there. Now, the project team at the Ministry of Transportation, Works and Utilities is happy to report that the JOMA projects installation team has completed most of the framing works for windows and doors at the Ralph T. O'Neill Central Administration Complex, and viewers is now installing glass on the upper floors beginning on the eastern side. Works are progressing smoothly and will continue over the next several weeks. This is coming out of government, of course, as well. Good news, government contributing to yet another home that was ravaged during the hurricanes of 2017 via the housing program. This was confirmed through a post made by our Premier Fahie, his Facebook page that stated, and I quote, "BVI love is caring for our people. It was such a joy for Honorable Vincent O. Whitley and Honorable Carvin Malone on behalf of the government to join in the dedication service of yet another hurricane repaired home funded in part by the government of the Virgin Islands. Miss Loretta has labored extremely hard and long, and today we give God thanks for all that is done." Now, viewers, I think what was so profound about the dedication ceremony was actually the recipient's nephew, him performing a song that he wrote just for the ceremony. It's very touching. Let's watch.
Built a place that love fills a home, where love will be the foundation forever, and the light will lead us, and faith will free us. Our hope is Jesus, and He will bind us together with love. Down through the years, through toil and tears, the people have gathered weary and weak, in need of relief from life's stormy weather. A shelter secure for the tired and the poor, to lay down their trouble and pain, a place where the soul can finally be whole, and the healing can always begin. This is the house that love built a place, that love filled.
What a touching and brilliant performance by our very own right here in the Virgin Islands. Now, viewers, the Housing Recovery Assistance Program is designed to help homeowners rebuild in the wakes of Hurricanes Irma and Maria, of course, in accordance with the provisions of the Virgin Islands Housing Recovery Policy and Hurricane Irma Housing Recovery Plan 2017 to 2019. Of course, we want to say congratulations to Miss Loretta and, of course, to her nephew as well for such a beautiful tribute.
And viewers, speaking of Thanksgiving and celebration, continuing on, the BVI Christian Council invites the people of the British Virgin Islands to a Thanksgiving service on Friday, the 10th of December, 2021 at 5:15 p.m. at the Rowtown Methodist Church. Now, in a statement, the council said, and I quote, "Let us come together in unity and fellowship as we give God thanks for protecting us from another hurricane season. Attendees are asked to wear a mask and observe all social distancing guidelines and protocols. For more information and how you can participate if interested about the service, please contact the president of the BVI ICC, Reverend Ephairm Brown, at 541-8400.
All right, viewers, as we move on into today's newscast, the Premier of the Virgin Islands and other legislators are calling for Mr. Anthony McMaster to become the CEO of RDA. Now, speaking at the contract signing ceremony on December 2nd was Honorable Mark Vanterpool, who made a passionate plea and really emphasizing on the ingenuity of locals, noting that they have every ability to get the job done. Now, not only did he speak on this, but the Premier as well, supporting what Honorable Vanterpool said. So let's watch.
Okay, I want to commend us, but I want to say that, you know, we appointed the first CEO of the RDA, and we appointed him. But we appointed the second CEO of the RDA, our BVI Islander, and we appointed him. How come we were able to find a man over in Fiji or somewhere, bring him here and make him the CEO, and we have to make our person here acting? And I have to tell you that he's acting, but I made him what he is in my ministry. He was my PS when we moved mountains. And we didn't listen to the opposition to build a coup spare. At the time, Premier. But Anthony knew that if he was under me in the ministry as PS, the coup spare was going to be built, and by God, thank him, it was built. But under the leadership of Anthony McMaster in the ministry, a lot was done. And I want you to get that acting thing off him and let him come from Hollywood to Tortola.
Like mentioned, viewers, Territory Leader Premier Andrew Foy echoed similar sentiments, adding his enthusiasm to see this motion into fruition.
Let me say that I have confidence in our local contractors to deliver this work, just like we had in them with the L-shaped building. Especially when the project is being managed by the RDA, which is a unit under the Premier's office. We are seeing a large volume of projects, some very ambitious, being completed early or on time with quality work and good budget management. And this is happening under the leadership of our very own Mr. Anthony McMaster. And for the record, I didn't give him the acting, but I hope to remove it under our stewardship.
Now, viewers, Mr. Anthony McMaster was appointed acting CEO of RDA on March 2nd, 2020. Mr. McMaster, who holds a postgraduate degree in management from Manchester Metropolitan University, has led teams engaged in multiple national projects, including the recovery of the territory's public infrastructure following the 2017 hurricanes, and has overseen several major projects since taking up office at the RDA. Now, Mr. McMaster, who was absent at the December 2nd ceremony, also pledged $7,500 between him and his family to the redevelopment of the Elmer Stout High School.
In 1968, an Albert McMaster came to relocate to the BVI from Antigua. I grew up knowing him all my life as a police officer, highly respected police officer. And today, there are 30 members of this family living here. 30. 25 who've gone through the secondary school here. One of whom is perhaps arguably probably the best Olympian that we've had. So far. We'll get better over time. But he is world class amongst the others. But the McMaster family would like to give back. And they're contributing $250 per person to the school for a total of $7,500.
Now, coming into office, one thing we do know is the government of the day really trying to revamp the whole RDA policy to ensure that opportunities are afforded to locals, particularly in the construction industry. But here we see also the government, and by way of all legislators of the House of Assembly, really calling for locals to lead as well.
And speaking, viewers, of local ingenuity, work and life coach Mrs. Marva A Titley-Smith will be available to sign copies of her 6-week devotional book titled Time to Thrive on Thursday, December 9th, 2021. Now, in the book, Mrs. Titley-Smith shows persons, particularly women that is, how to slow down and thrive one day at a time, with daily devotions covering the core life areas such as spiritual, family, emotional, personal growth, physical, career, social, and financial. Marva reminds you that God cares about every aspect of your very busy life. In just about 15 minutes a day, you will connect to the heart of God, she says, and move from overwhelming to peace, and from distracted living to a life full of passion and purpose. Director of Culture, Dr. Catherine Smith, said, and I quote, "Despite the busy pace of life, work and life coach Marva Titley-Smith not only reminds us but also shows us how to slow down rather than being overwhelmed. This can be indeed a time to thrive." Now, the author explained that no matter how busy you are or how overwhelming your life is, you can thrive. Time to thrive is the advice I wish, she said, I could give to my younger self, and yet it's the advice I'm taking for myself today. I'm sorry, you don't have I'm sorry, guys. You don't have to wait for life to be perfect or your circumstances to change. No matter how busy you are or how overwhelming your life can be, you can thrive. And in the book, I will show you how to. Now, this is your time to thrive, Mrs. Titley-Smith said. Now, persons who are interested in purchasing A Time to Thrive can do so on Thursday, December 9th at the Nook Bookstore at 5:45 to 7:30 p.m. at the official book launch. The Department of Culture here in the British Virgin Islands say they are committed to helping local authors publicize their books and is encouraging authors to contact them at 468-4949 to learn how. Now, viewers, be sure to check out our special edition of our interview with Mrs. Marva Titley-Smith at 7 p.m. this evening as she breaks it down for us. She really encapsulates her story and how she got to the point in which she is now sharing yet another story and piece of advice for women all across the world as it pertains to thriving. So congratulations to her, and be sure to not only support this local author by purchasing her book, but you yourself make time to thrive. Up next, Premier pays a courtesy call on Hertfordshire County Council as they mark the 10th year anniversary relationship, and the Rotary Club of Tortola recognizing the one and only Andy Flax and Ephairm Penn as Paul Harris Fellows at the BVI Rotary Family Foundation Dinner 2021. This and so much more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family. I love you. service.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome back to 284 News. Now, more local headlines. Premier and Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Fahie, has said that his visit to the Hertfordshire County Council in the United Kingdom was successful. Premier Fahie was speaking during a press conference on Friday, November 26th. He said that while in the United Kingdom, the delegation of the government from the Virgin Islands was welcomed by the chairman councillors and officials from Hertfordshire County Council on the last day of his visit to the United Kingdom. The visit, almost to the day, marked 10 years since the Virgin Islands and Hertfordshire County Council signed a memorandum of understanding to partner and share intelligence. Now, over the years, Hertfordshire County Council has been a good friend to the Virgin Islands, hosting the BVI Olympic delegation in 2012 for the Games in London, and then in 2014 also supporting the delegation for the Commonwealth Games. Now, since then, the relationship has developed to include exchanges on education, the environment, and economic development. Now, more recently in 2014, viewers, the Virgin Islands was pleased to welcome a group of educational officials who provided training to newly qualified teachers and shared knowledge on early childhood education, as well as having held discussions between the environmental and fisheries officers on environmental management. Earlier this year, another memorandum of understanding was signed with the University of Hertfordshire, for the development of tertiary education programs for students here in the BVI to complete at the university, both through distance and in-person learning. Now, the next areas of partnership will explore, and those include sharing experiences of supporting those with physical and learning disabilities, youth offending, and economic development. Now, viewers, Premier Andrew Fahie said that the delegation was very pleased to pay a courtesy visit to Hertfordshire County. He said, and I quote, "We value the friendship extended to us by the Hertfordshire County Council, and I am pleased that after a few years of absence, we are able to meet again. Over the last decade, our relationship has blossomed from one rooted in spirit, in sport that is, to extend all the way to education, the environment, and now economic development. And there is still more than that we can learn from each other," end of quote. The chairman of Hertfordshire County Council, Mr. Seamus Quilty, also said, and I quote, "We were pleased to welcome Premier Fahie to County Hill in recognition of the partnership born from the London Olympics. It was good to hear that the best practice examples we are able to share in support dealing with challenges are very helpful. The relationship between Hertfordshire and the islands has many successes to be proud of. In particular, the recognition from the BVI government of our expertise in education provision," end of quote. Now, viewers, the visit was the last engagement on the Premier's trip to the United Kingdom for the Joint Ministerial Council.
Continuing on the local scene, in November, the BVI Rotary family celebrated the Rotary Foundation to coincide, of course, with District Governor Louise Weaver and his wife Amanda's official visit to the territory of the British Virgin Islands. Now, viewers, the grand fundraiser took place in partnership with Rosewood Little Dix Bay, where Ephairm, Penn, and Elwyn Anderson Flax were bestowed with the prestigious Community Paul Harris Fellow Award for their contributions to the British Virgin Islands. Mr. Penn is the president of the BVI Olympic Committee and is the country representative for the BVI National Anti-Doping Organization, a role he took on after he established the Virgin Islands Anti-Doping Commission. He is a current board member of the Regional Anti-Doping Organization of the Caribbean. Penn was also elected as Commonwealth Games Federation Sports Committee Caribbean representative for the 2019-2023 period and was elected as a member of the Pan Am Sports Technical Commission in April 2021. Now, viewers, during his current tenure as president of the National Olympic Committee and Commonwealth Games Association since 2008, Penn established the Elite Athlete Program in partnership with the Ministry of Sports and was instrumental in composing the national sports policy of the Virgin Islands. He also serves as the chairman of the Long-Term Athletic Development Steering Committee and was instrumental in the adoption of the physical literacy program in pre-primary and primary schools within the BVI. Now, following Hurricanes Irma, Penn secured funding and support from Pan Am Sports for the rebuild of sports facilities here in the BVI. Over the years, Mr. Flax has immersed himself in the Virgin Gorda community while building his own businesses. He knew that the fabric of the Virgin Gorda community was its people, and he supported the island and its growth in any way he could. Now, in 1974, he and his wife Norma opened what is now the iconic Fisher's Cove Beach Hotel. Here and even now, many residents interested in hospitality honed in on their skills. Today, many are now a premier sports resort on Virgin Gorda and the premier resorts on Virgin Gorda, and the Caribbean. In fact, many often jokingly call Fisher's Cove the hospitality school of the Virgin Islands. Also interested in the construction trades, Andy formed Andy Flax & Sons Construction. Such projects viewers completed including Andy's Chateau, the Pirate, Fisher's Cove Beach Hotel, many expansions, the Sabre Rock before the storms, as well as Valley Trunk and many other homes on Virgin Gorda. As a philanthropist, he also traveled to Anegada and helped to restore the Methodist Church there. Again, the lover of learning and wanting to see others succeed, he has helped to teach many of his foremen and supervisors the business side of construction. Some eventually branched out and formed their very own companies. But there is also the other side of Andy, the fun-loving side, where he has supported and sponsored many softball teams, as he is an avid Los Angeles Dodger fan. He supports the sport to this day and could be seen most recently at the opening of the Virgin Gorda Softball League, of which he is an avid supporter. He also facilitated the sale of family lands to the government many years ago so that the Jeffrey Canes basketball arena could have a proper home. He is also one of the founding members and a founder of the Virgin Gorda Festival and was honored for this at their 50th anniversary celebrations just a few years ago. Now, the funds raised at the Rotary event will not only go to the Rotary Foundation, but also to a school project in Virgin Gorda. The Rotary Foundation is organized as a public charity operated exclusively for charitable purposes and governed by a board of trustees. The operations, of course, of Rotary International, a member organization, are overseen by its board of directors. The headquarters of Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation are in Vanston, Illinois, USA. Now, we have, in addition to that, association foundations in Australia, Brazil, Canada, Germany, India, Japan, and the United Kingdom. All this, we have congratulations to the Rotary Club of Tortola for this remarkable fundraising event. And most importantly, we want to congratulate these two stalwart men of the BVI community, Mr. Penn and Mr. Flax, for their amazing contributions to our territory.
Absolutely, quite fitting, especially I can speak to Mr. Flax and also leaving a legacy in a very different way as well. His two daughters coming into the industry, former Director of Tourism, Ms. Sharon Flax Brutus, serving as the director of the BVI Tourist Board, and now his very own Honorable Shireen Flax, serving as a legislator in this beautiful territory. Now, viewers, ahead of the break, retired officer who breached airport security and traveled with a loaded firearm from Barbados to Miami is now being investigated, says Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and Barbados as well, releasing a Republic commemorative coin. We have the details for these stories as soon as we return. Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, a look at the region. Prime Minister Mia Mottley has requested an urgent report on the recent incident that led to the arrest of a retired police officer, Mr. Cameron Hines, who was found with a gun and rounds of ammunition when he landed at the Miami International Airport after arriving from a flight from the Grantley Adams Airport in Barbados. Now, viewers, Cameron Hines was caught carrying a firearm loaded with 5 .32 caliber bullets at Florida's busiest airport. Prime Minister Mia Mottley said, and I quote, "I learned about it yesterday," of course speaking to Thursday morning, "and I have requested urgently a report which I expect to receive very, very soon. Somebody or bodies will be held accountable." This notion that people can do things that are in breach of the law or in breach of acceptable standards and get away with impunity is not going to stand. The consequences for the country are grave and great. So let us be very clear that those breaches will be dealt with. End of quote. Now, meanwhile, viewers, the United States Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, and the National Security Council are all conducting investigations into the alleged breach of security at the airport, according to the Defense Policy Specialist, and National Security Agency analyst at the University of Miami. Travelers from Barbados could face tougher surveillance measures when they reach to U.S. shores as a result of this incident. It's reported that Hines' Ruger revolver was within reach for the entire 4-hour trip, a clear breach of the international security measures implemented after the 9/11 attacks just over 20 years ago. This breach, as you can imagine, is now a black eye for the U.S., which has sought to bolster its security since those September 11 attacks. Now, viewers, the representative from TSA, Mr. Naval, said, and I quote, "The gentleman was searched, he was patted down, he was scanned, but the firearm seemed to have been under a laptop. And I think that's where the blunder came, because the officer who would have been reviewing his bag or checking the luggage should have taken the laptop out or had him take out the laptop, which is customary of the TSA. He went on to say that airport scanners would be retrained, among many other steps, to prevent such an event from reoccurring. Now, Hines, viewers, the person in question, appeared in court on Friday on a charge of carrying a concealed weapon, which carries a maximum penalty in Florida of 5 years in prison and a fine of $5,000. He reportedly pleaded not guilty and will appear in court again mid-December. Now, a spokesman for the U.S. Embassy told an online publication, Barbados Today, that American officials were coordinating with aviation and law enforcement partners to, and I quote, "ensure the safety of all travelers between Barbados and the United States," end of quote. In a separate statement, the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, of course, of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security revealed that immediate action was taken of the government, and additional information is being gathered to launch an investigation. They said, and I quote, "TSA partners with countries and provides assistance, guidance, and assessments to assure an airport's security posture is in accordance with established international standards." That was the statement coming out of TSA.
Quite some troubling happenings, of course. We continue to keep you posted on that story. Viewers, we are out of time, but we want to make sure we encourage you to stay connected to 284 Media, not only on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, but of course our website at 284media.com, where we have a plethora of local, regional, and international content, not forgetting our feature interviews, which showcase a number of disciplines and events that are taking place here in the British Virgin Islands, essentially keeping the beautiful people of the BVI connected on all fronts. It is always a pleasure, and we do wish you a beautiful week. It's a happy Monday to each and every one of you. I'm Ron Grant.
And my name is Javon Wilson. Be sure to follow us on all our social media handles as well. 284 Media on Facebook. We're also on Instagram and Twitter at 284 BVI. Also YouTube, 284 Media. We're everywhere. So viewers, check us out on social media. My name is Javon Wilson. Again, thanking you so much for joining us.